Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show, folks. Today, we're diving into some hot topics. First up, NATO leaders are in The Hague, praising President Trump for pushing Europe to pay up on defense, making a real impact. But, of course, not everyone's on the same page, especially with Ukraine's uncertain NATO future and global conflicts brewing. Next, a U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. has set sail from Norfolk heading toward the Middle East. With tensions rising between Iran and Israel, this powerful ship is ready to make waves and show U.S. strength in a tense region. Families of sailors are proud but worried about what's ahead. And finally, there's some exciting news in health. An innovative HIV drug, lenacapavir, gets U.S. approval, promising 6 months of protection. But, sadly, budget cuts threaten to slow down progress, risking setbacks in fighting HIV worldwide. Stay tuned for the full story. Please continue to watch for more details. According to the Toronto Star, NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte has lauded President Donald Trump for significantly pressuring Europe to increase its defense spending, describing it as a monumental achievement that will compel European nations to contribute more substantially to their collective security. During the NATO summit in The Hague, discussions centered around the ambitious goal of member countries allocating 5% of their GDP to defense, a target that some, like Spain, have resisted, citing unreasonable demands. Despite disagreements, key allies such as Britain, France, and Germany reaffirmed their commitment to this goal, highlighting a concerted effort to bolster NATO's military readiness amid ongoing tensions with Russia and the Ukraine conflict. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky made a symbolic visit to the summit, emphasizing his country's desire for closer integration with NATO, yet the political climate remains cautious, with Ukraine's accession prospects frozen, and the focus shifting toward broader European defense cooperation and support. The Toronto Star also reports on the deployment of the USS Gerald R. aircraft carrier amid escalating Middle East tensions, especially following recent Israeli strikes on Iranian sites and Iran's retaliatory missile attack on a U.S. military base. The carrier, a symbol of American military might, set sail from Norfolk, Virginia, heading towards waters off Israel's Mediterranean coast, with the flexibility to reposition swiftly in response to the volatile situation. This deployment underscores the United States' strategic intent to project power and safeguard its interests in the region, particularly as Iran's influence and actions continue to challenge stability. The carrier strike group's readiness reflects the Navy's evolving tactics to counter threats from Houthi rebels and Iran-backed militias, with sailors prepared for potential escalation. Families of service members expressed a mix of pride and anxiety, aware of the critical role their loved ones play amid the complex geopolitical landscape. Deutsche Welle highlights the promising breakthrough of lenacapavir, a revolutionary HIV prevention drug recently approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which offers 6 months of protection with a single injection. Dubbed a miracle by UNAIDS, this drug could dramatically reduce HIV transmission, especially among vulnerable populations, by providing the longest-lasting prophylactic option available. However, experts warn that the full potential of lenacapavir may be squandered due to the Trump administration's ongoing cuts to public health budgets, which threaten to undermine the infrastructure necessary to distribute and administer the drug effectively. Funding reductions have already hindered vital programs like PEPFAR and the CDC, risking a setback in global and domestic efforts to end the HIV epidemic by 2030. Advocates warn that without sustained investment, the opportunity to make a historic impact in HIV prevention could be lost, especially for marginalized groups who rely on comprehensive health services. BBC reports on the vandalism at Donald Trump's Turnberry golf course, where a series of criminal acts unfolded early in the morning, including digging up a green and painting provocative slogans like, "Gaza is not for sale." The incident drew swift condemnation from Trump, who called the perpetrators terrorists and demanded harsh treatment. The resort's spokesperson dismissed the acts as childish and criminal, highlighting the political tension surrounding Trump's controversial proposal to turn Gaza into a resort akin to the French Riviera, a plan that stirred international concern over potential displacement of Palestinians. The situation exemplifies how political conflicts can manifest in destructive acts, with authorities already charging multiple individuals in connection with the damage. The Independent shares the poignant story of Sae June Park, a U.S. Army veteran and Purple Heart recipient, who made the heartbreaking decision to self-deport to South Korea after old drug charges resurfaced under the Trump administration's strict immigration policies. Having served in Panama and sustained life-threatening injuries, Park struggled with PTSD and addiction, which led to legal troubles over the years. Despite his service and sacrifices, he faced deportation due to unresolved charges from over a decade ago, a consequence of untreated trauma and systemic barriers. His departure, marked by tearful farewells to his family and a sense of disbelief, underscores the harsh realities faced by many veterans and immigrants caught in the crossfire of evolving immigration laws, illustrating the human toll behind political policies. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports on the volatile Middle East situation, where President Trump's efforts to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Iran have been marred by recent hostilities. Despite Trump's claims that both sides had committed to respecting the truce, Israel launched strikes near Tehran, and Iran responded with missile launches against U.S. and Qatari targets, causing regional chaos. The violence prompted international condemnation, travel disruptions, and a surge in casualties, with Iran's health ministry reporting over 600 deaths since June. Meanwhile, diplomatic tensions escalated as Gulf states condemned Iran's missile strikes and called for urgent discussions, and Australia coordinated evacuations for its citizens amid the turmoil. The fragile ceasefire hangs in the balance amid these escalations, illustrating how geopolitical conflicts continue to threaten regional stability and global security. The Independent vividly recounts President Donald Trump's historic moment of dropping the F-bomb on live television, marking the first time a U.S. president intentionally used such profanity during an official statement. Trump's outburst occurred during a tense discussion about the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict, where he remarked that both nations don't know what the F they're doing after a ceasefire was announced. This incident is but a snapshot of Trump's colorful history with coarse language, which includes earlier moments such as calling Haiti and African nations thole countries, and using profanity during campaign rallies and behind-the-scenes moments. Interestingly, Trump's use of foul language is not unique among presidents. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and even Abraham Lincoln have all been caught or known to have used profanity publicly or in private moments, revealing a complex tapestry of presidential speech that often balances professionalism with raw expression. CBC paints a compelling picture of the new linguistic challenges faced by U.S. truck drivers amid a crackdown on English proficiency. As the Department of Transportation enforces stricter standards, truckers who speak English as a second language fear losing their livelihoods if they make mistakes or speak with accents during roadside inspections. In response, many are taking English classes, practicing scripted phrases, and watching instructional videos to meet the new requirements. The policy aims to improve road safety by ensuring drivers can understand traffic signs and respond to questions in English, but it also raises concerns about discrimination, especially among Hispanic and Sikh communities, who worry about subjective judgments and potential bias. The scene at a trucking school in New Jersey captures the urgency and uncertainty of this shift, highlighting how language proficiency has become a critical factor in the livelihoods of those who keep America moving. The Toronto Star explores President Trump's ambiguous stance on NATO's mutual defense guarantee amidst the backdrop of global tensions. As Trump heads to the NATO summit in The Hague, he questions whether the U.S. will fully honor Article 5, which commits member states to defend one another in case of attack. His comments cast a shadow over the alliance, which he has previously criticized for insufficient defense spending and questioned its relevance. Despite the uncertainty, European allies are eager to showcase their commitment, partly motivated by fears that Trump might withdraw or reduce U.S. troop presence in Europe, especially as discussions of shifting military resources toward the Indo-Pacific gain momentum. Trump's unpredictable approach to international alliances, combined with his focus on increasing defense contributions, underscores the delicate balance NATO faces in maintaining unity while navigating the complexities of American foreign policy under a leader known for his candid, often controversial rhetoric. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spit, walls come down. Voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. voices rise aloud, truth unveils in every smile. Cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a stroke. Every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code. Journalistic real deep, secrets that they don't see. Every angle they repeat, in the news we take a lead. New perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story finds its way. Perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story finds its way.
Cultures, I go, what really or do not, what enough to be you, everything and ever, what enough and after, what enough and after, what enough and after, nothing, 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 nothing.